Hey, what's up guys? So new location, I know, right? I'm in New York now and I'm gonna be here probably for the next 3 weeks or so, but the reason I'm making this video is because I want to be completely transparent with like how the business is going, the updates, and we basically made two really important things I'm gonna talk about in this video. And if you don't know me already, I'm a 15-year-old high school dropout and I'm basically pursuing to hit 100K per month with this new agency. We signed 30 clients just last month in November. Right now, I think today is December 21st, so almost the holidays, but as you know, we're continuing to work, put in the work, and make the SOPs that are necessary. But the things I want to talk to you about in this video are the CSM, all right? And this is SOPs, how to hire properly, because this is an actual real employee. Like, we're not just getting a VA from like the Philippines, India, or whatever. So this is like an actual, like my real hire. Like, this person's not on commission. They're like an actual salary pay. Like, this is exactly what a real business is. So it's kind of like my first kind of leap into that. I do have a closer though, but he's like basically on commission, but he is like from the US and stuff like that. So you can kind of basically call him a real employee and he's from the US, but he's on commission, right? And we're basically been in this, we did ecom last year together. So he was my business partner in that. And we did probably like 200K in literally probably 3 or 4 months. So I brought him into the agency because I showed him the opportunity, and we basically started this new agency, and he's been my closer in it, and we are doing pretty good so far. So I think going back to Tuesday of this week, we signed like 4 clients in one day. So that was pretty cool. Paid, all that fun stuff, and we have their car on file, right, with Stripe. And I want to talk to you about CSM, the SOPs that we made, this and that. Because that's going to be the most important thing. We like actually have to train them. So this CSM is such a great candidate because we actually went to, it was called ZipRecruiter. That was the exact platform we used. I usually in the past have heard Indeed, and I've also heard of Upwork, or not Upwork, yeah, Upwork. And you can also use LinkedIn for like, showing your title as CEO and then reaching out to other companies' team members if you're more sophisticated and more advanced. That's one of advice I got from a pretty wealthy guy, and we are not on that level yet, right? But we use ZipRecruiter to find this candidate. We got probably like around 20 people to kind of just like say they wanted to be hired. Now, of course, out of those 20 people, like probably 3 of them were the actual people we wanted to have interviews with, and one of them was essentially just like a high school student. The next one was probably like a little bit of an accent, and the name wasn't so American. And then the third one was, a girl name that was pretty common in the US. She's also has great experience in what we're actually looking for. So this is basically the opportunity that I've been waiting for all year. And this is exactly like what's gonna get us to 100K per month with the agency, because everything is falling into the right places in the right time. And I this is literally the exact moment I've been waiting for like all this time. So it's now better than ever to like actually put in the work, put in like exactly the sacrifices, not sleeping and stuff like that. This is the time to do that, right? There's no slowing down right now. I also potentially might go with a couple of entrepreneur friends of mine to undisclosed location. Guess we'll see until then. But yeah, I mean, I'm planning to do something probably around in February, January, end of January-ish. But yeah, I'm kind of hesitant because I'm trying to like really actually lock in and scale this, because I know like if I'm literally by myself, living by myself, and wherever I want to be, right, like just how we're in New York right now, and we were just in Austin, Texas, probably like exactly actually 1 week from now. Like I was in Austin, so yeah. But I was also in Europe like 2 or 3 months ago, so now my what is it called, my visa, I don't need like a visa or whatever. I can go back without, because I have a US passport, so I'm allowed to go back every 90-ish days, so whatever, right? That doesn't matter. But CSM, as far as that, like I'm gonna actually have to look at my phone because I wrote down all the notes for all the SOPs we're making. I'm not just gonna list them off the top of my head because I'm not gonna remember all the SOPs I made off the top of my head. I'm actually gonna just like give you all the value. So I'm gonna go to my phone, check it out. But other than that, like we found out on ZipRecruiter, half of them were like actually males. We were looking for a female, and I essentially did a lot of research and digging into like what actually a CSM would be doing in our role, like because you want to evaluate, like, do you need this role at this time? Because a lot of people would feel like, oh, I need a media buyer, but you're not even at 5K per month. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of moving parts to it. I would say probably at total right now, we're at 1, 2, 3. So there's like 3 other main guys right now. There's probably gonna be 3 or 4-ish because our fulfillment is really interesting because we need a lot of team for it. This is a very team focused business. When you're going to the agency space, this is very team focused and team building wise. As long as you're able to scale a team, like you can literally scale your revenue, whatever it is per month, and just hit that, you know, whatever location freedom, time freedom, financial freedom that you want. Okay, so let me actually look at my phone because I want to give you the exact SOPs that I made. Hopefully it can help you guys out as well. So all right, so I have my handy dandy MacBook right here, MacBook Pro, by the way. Invest into yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, and you're probably like, good things to invest in yourself are probably your health, but other than that, it's like a good pen. Like, buy a $300 pen with your initials on it, a nice gold and black one. Like, just be the man. And then as well as like the MacBook, you got to get the MacBook. But let's get into it. So the SOP for the CSM is, this is exactly what we made basically because we have to train them basically. The reason that the CSM is so good and why we actually chose them is because, okay, by the way, they're a female. I want to make that clear because they're just whatever it is, whatever role, customer support should just be like that, right? But reason I didn't get someone from like Philippines or any of that is because, first of all, like time zone type of thing, as well as like you just need a little bit to know about that American and I don't know how to say it, but like the industry that you're in, that way of talking. So it's just a lot easier to train them because they're actually full in. Like they're paid full. Like these guys are full in. Not saying that the Philippines are not. Like it's just a lot better to have them US based because they're an actual team member. Like they're actually in like doing crazy stuff for the company, not just like a contractor. You know what I mean? But the SOPs for the CSM, I don't know why I'm holding it like this, but the SOPs for the CSM we have is how to use Stripe. That's pretty common, right? Like you kind of just probably just laughing at that one. But I want to touch on like the disputes and the apps we're connecting to Stripe because we want to navigate and just like reject as many disputes as possible because we don't want to like hold any payment processor issues, right? And that's just something I was told by a mentor, and it's a good point because I could have made that mistake and, you know, for the rest of my life I would not have been able to use Stripe, and it would have been a lot harder to just be rich, to become rich. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of rich people from the US that are using Stripe as their payment processor. I don't want to get banned from there. So the app is called ChargeFlow. I'm going to touch more on it. So it's how to use ChargeFlow, handle disputes. We're basically making templates for like product not acceptable, membership or like whatever, subscription canceled, right? But then we still charge them, whatever. So there's product not received. Those are like the main ones. Those are really the main ones that we get when you're running an agency. And then how to use Slack, right? Just because the whole team is, you know, there. And then we have what to do when a client pauses. So we're essentially have a place where there's like a client portal, and then they can just literally pause the service. Like we basically work on a pay per result type of thing, so they can just decide, hey, I just want to pause and I have holidays. Because the people that we work with are rich. You want to work with rich people because if they aren't rich and they don't have money to spend with you on your agency, on your marketing budget, then you're not going to make money that you want to make. So we work with rich people, and that's how people get rich. Like those Switzerland luxury goods stores, they get rich because they're working with the top people. They look for the value instead of, oh, this price. It's like 50,000 instead of 45,000. Like they don't care. The rich people pay that difference if they see the value. Okay, so make that as your agency. And then, so yeah, what to do when a client pauses. So as far as the back end and turning off whatever automations and this and that, and then calling, and then like how to call them and what situations are gonna happen when you call them, just to handle it as best as efficiently as possible. And then how to handle, because we actually have a lead credit system. So we work on like a lead basis and charge by a lead and appointments. So like what the actual policy is, so that way the CSM is able to know if someone is eligible to get, you know, basically the refund or whatever, so for the lead or appointment that they got, right? How to find lead info for, you know, a client. So let's say just a client is 60 years old and they don't know what the fuck they're doing with their phone, let's just say, like, just basically allow them to be able to get the information, how to find that on the software, because they probably have not used Go High Level before, like, you know what I mean? So, and then a training guide for our industry so that they just understand like exactly where our clients are coming from and just what the overall understanding of the industry is, so they can best handle and talk their language with the client. And then the type of clients that we work with, and then I'm not going to say that specifically, but exactly who's qualified and who's not qualified, and such as, right? And then what the clients do, so like what they actually do for, you know, what the clients do, right? What is their industry, how does it work, such as, and how our service delivery works as far as like how they can understand like what's going on, and they would be able to articulate to that if somebody asks. And then procedure should be that always the first couple of leads are absolutely amazing. That's just for our fulfillment team that we added when I was talking with my closer, because my closer is basically like in it for the long run. He's basically understanding like, yo, we're gonna print eventually, you know, which we kind of are right now, but like this can go to 100, 150K, 200K, 300K months, you know? So that's just a note for myself. But yeah, that's SOPs for CSM. And I want to tell you what made them actually so qualified to be a CSM. So essentially, this CSM was someone who used to work in debt management. And they would basically call people that owed debt to a company, and these people that she called had no money. So she would have to convince people with no money to spend the money that they barely had left to owe debt to whatever company. So it's basically perfect because as a CSM, as a customer support person, sometimes, you know, let's say someone puts a card on file with Stripe and it's not, it just runs out of funds maybe, okay? Then the CSM would basically go ahead and call the client and be like, hey, is there anything wrong with the service that we're providing, such as, and this is exactly what you want to look for in a CSM, and they have perfect background for this. So I'm thinking like maybe we got a little bit lucky with just like how it happened, because I literally just copied an exact job description from like another person that was asking for a CSM, and then just tweak it a little bit, said what we were doing, stuff like that, and we got 20 applicants, half were male, tossed them out the door, and then 3 are actually only we like actually set up interviews with, and yeah, it was pretty lit because I didn't even have to take those interviews. I just had my closer take them, and as I said, he's in it for the long run with me, so that's an advantage I have. And you just want to, when you go into these types of businesses, you just want to look like, hey, what advantages do I have? What knowledge do I have? Maybe you used to work in constructions, go into the construction agency space and then start doing marketing for them, whatever it is, right? Whatever advantage you can have. Maybe you used to do landscaping as a job and you just understand their language, and then you started a landscaping agency, a business, or not a business, but like a marketing agency for landscaping. So yeah, that's some advice I have for you. But as far as talking about the dispute apps, I think it's really important because you're probably not going to expect it. And I feel like you can navigate this if you're probably charging like $3,000 retainers, which is exactly what we used to do, because cash is king, right? We would just basically do that, sign the client for like 90 days, and then just have like some Filipini just fulfill on the service delivery for whatever so long. And that's just basically back end minus profit, whatever so, and then we'd be left with the profit. So yeah, but as far as dispute apps, like this is actually pretty important when you're running an agency, like an actual business, because we are charging people automatically when they sign up to our service. Like it's clearly stated on the website. We have a killer website, we have a 3D site, and it has everything that you need to know. And it basically has people just like so warmed up before the call. We have a nice VSL, and we're actually working on a new VSL that we just created, and it's basically an editing process, and it's gonna be absolutely killer. But yeah, that's pretty much that, because it's really important with the way of outreach that we do. Can't dive into specifics. I don't want to really saturate my own thing to the public, right? You know how that is. But yeah, as far as dispute app, this is going to be really helpful because I use this app on Stripe called ChargeFlow, and it's called chargeflow.io. You can look up their website or whatever. And what happens is when a dispute is, or when a customer, your client, is trying to file a dispute, it would contact the bank company, and the bank company, when they're notified about that stuff, it would send something called like Ethica, and it would notify the app, ChargeFlow or whatever so that you use. There's like a couple of them. There's ChargeFlow, there's Chargeback, and then there's Chargeback Stop. So there's like 3 main ones on Stripe, and they just like basically can catch the dispute before it's actually filed and it shows up on Stripe, because Stripe is always taking a $15 fee when you get a dispute. So it's kind of stacks up when you're charging clients automatically and you're charging them every single day for the service you're delivering. So it stacks up. So you don't want to get like what we had is like we had someone dispute, and they disputed 3 at the same time. Like even though maybe one lead or appointment could have been bad, like they dispute all 3 at once, and that's the issue. So we had to put this in place because we just realized like, yo, okay, we want to be on Stripe's good terms, and this is exactly what can really make a huge mistake for our future. So we basically paused like all service delivery for like a whole week because we just want to make sure this app was installed before, you know, maybe any dispute came. Like maybe there's probably a high chance that none would have came through, but we had signed up a crazy lady, and she was like, she sent us an email, cancel my contract immediately, and we didn't even sign her on a contract. Like she was literally just a crazy 60-year-old. So we learned from our mistakes, right? We know and not to do that anymore. But yeah, ChargeFlow app, absolutely game changer. It does take a long time though. It takes like, we already got MasterCard set up, so we have alerts. It's called alerts. So what alerts is like, you basically just invite them to the Stripe account, and then they would look for the ARNs. It's a pretty complicated process, but they would look for like the Visa, CADs, and BINs, and they would be able to like relay that information to Ethica, and then they would have this like alert. I forget what the exact company is called that looks for like the alerts and stuff, and has that type of backend API coding stuff interface or whatever. So, but yeah, you can just use ChargeFlow, and then it integrates into that. There's Chargeback Stop, Chargeback.io. Those are pretty ones. I know Dropship.io is a pretty well-known like name in the industry for e-commerce, and the founder of that actually made Chargeback.io. So Chargeback.io. I was thinking of switching to them, but I was already in the process with ChargeFlow, and I was already recommended by my mentor to use ChargeFlow. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use that. He uses that, and his dispute rate is 0.34%. So yeah, it does work really, really well. And then for the industry, when you're charging people automatically, it's very important to have that stuff. So it's a game changer, right? Because now I don't even have to worry about that shit. CSM, I'm probably gonna have them handle that barely any disputes that come through, but I had been connected with one of my mentors, like mentees, and he said he couldn't be bothered to look at the disputes because they're just so little. So I think that's going to be really important. But yeah, that's basically just like kind of a business update as far as like what's been going on. And I'm going to make sure all those SOPs are ready, and we'll have our first call with that CSM Thursday. So right now is Saturday. So it's pretty actually a long time from now, but that's because it's going to be Christmas and then Christmas Eve. So we're stopping service delivery for then. Hopefully the ChargeFlow app is installed by Monday. So two days from now. Did say that like it takes 5 to 10 working days. So yeah, but MasterCard's already pretty much ready, but 70% of our clients are on Visa. So it's pretty annoying. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? You just have to outweigh, like, do you need the money now? Like, I don't need the money now, so I might as well just wait and then, you know, pick it up, and then we'll have, it's gonna be funny because when I look at the graph and I'm predicting this, like, it's gonna show like the first month, because the first month we were still figuring out the service delivery and stuff. We probably only did like 10, 15K the first month, and then like afterwards, after that, like it's literally gonna jump to like 60K, then 100K, and it's gonna be kind of funny to look at the chart because it's gonna be like parabolic as hell. So yeah, all we have to do at the end of the day is just literally double the team, double the team, double the team, double the team. So that's exactly how we scale. So it's gonna be much of a burden. It's not that easy. Like, of course, it's gonna be a lot of demand. I'm gonna have to get a COO and just have him operate like head of VAs, stuff like that, right? Those are the things that you need to put in place, and then have separate teams in space. And then we're also gonna have to start creating some Miro boards, some boards of just like really just planning out everything, how everything works. That way we just have everyone an understanding of the company, like what works and what goes on, what is their role, aside from just the Google Docs and the folders, right, on Google Drive and the spreadsheets. So yeah, we're also gonna start hosting like team calls every week, so that way we just everyone has like an understanding, because I know a head of VA is like really important, because my mentor has like a head of VA, and that's how everything runs very smooth. That's literally it. So CSM is going to be a big play, because it just allows us to have no worries about that and have clients stay longer. You have higher retention, and now you have more money coming in, because those clients that you get are going to stay longer, they're going to retain higher, and they overall just give you more money. So yeah, I hope this video was valuable. Stay subscribed and like the video, I guess, just to stay along how everything is going. You can check out my Instagram at niv.coachjavi. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll see where the business is at then. So I'll try to give you guys an update every week or so. And yeah, peace out, guys. See you in the next one.